number one is that you don't have a mission in your life. Like, you don't have a focus. As a man, as a person, right? You should have a mission in life. Something that overarchingly drives you every day to take action on stuff and then like bring you closer to some outcome in your life. Really, this should be titled, Don't Walk Around Aimlessly in Life. Have a target, have goals, have things that you're kind of constantly moving toward. You walk around aimlessly, you leave it up to the world and people and circumstance and everything else that happens to determine how you're gonna feel, what's gonna happen in your life, what your mood is gonna be, and like how your life is gonna go. And by the way, that isn't just exclusive to one mission. You can have many missions, you know? I am trying to formulate a commercial available product for a very particularly terrible health condition, right? That's just one of my missions, but I have many other missions. But I'll tell you what, if I didn't have a mission in life or many missions, I would be depressed. I mean, that's one thing that will absolutely depress you, because then you're just walking around aimlessly, 100,000 people that are influencing you every day. You're at the mercy of them people if you don't have a mission and you're focusing on you. Have a mission in life. Do not be walking around aimlessly, because that's what's gonna happen. You will get lost and that will make you depressed. You gotta be focused on some outcome or many outcomes. Number two reason that you're depressed is you fail to understand the inertia factor. The inertia factor. The inertia factor is the force that it's going to take to get you out of stagnation in something. Like, look, depression can be crippling. Like, being in a crappy mood, a crappy state is totally crippling. And it puts you to the point where you're just at that threshold of like being paralyzed, not being able to move, not being able to get up and do something positive for your life, and not being able to have a happy thought. But what you don't get is that to beat that, to have the inertia factor, all it takes is a fucking forceful movement in willpower. That's it. Like, get up, go for a jog, go for a walk. Even if it's around the block, it does not matter. You're sitting here thinking like, oh, I can't move. That's the problem. That's the root of the issue. Yes, there is gonna be an inertia factor, right? An initial forceful, spontaneous, random movement by you that's gonna get you out of the state that you're in. You've gotta do something. Take a drive, take a walk down the block, walk up the block. Call someone that you know. If you're feeling that level of stagnation, there has to be force to get you out of that inertia zone. The inertia factor is critical. It'll actually save you from crappy moods and being depressed in a lot of cases. I promise you, in situations where you're feeling depressed, you're feeling crappy, and you're just unable to do anything, you've gotta do something. Even if it's something stupid, it does not matter. You've gotta do something. And I hope you guys can hear me, because I'm literally under a huge overpass in Pittsburgh. Your testosterone is low. Your testosterone is low. God, it's loud here. Look, test drives you as a man. That's it. And like, I've talked about this all the time, but there are so many instances in which, like, Doc may suggest this or that. Let's just kind of keep it very general. But really, the testosterone is the issue. Like, if you were to try to endogenously make the most out of your own test, or go on some otherwise strategy, call it, to raise testosterone levels, you wouldn't really need that other solution that Doc is offering. One of the single biggest causes of depression in men, 100%, is low test. We've got solutions for that, man. Testosterone Superclass, or get on consulting with me. We will change your test, and when it starts raising, it will change your life. If you decide to go the route of HRT or TRT, totally fine, do it. Because once you start getting consistently level testosterone levels, it's gonna change the way you feel. It will absolutely change your mood. And likely it will take you out, in a lot of cases, of that funk of depression.
I'm talking yay high, man, I never had a vertical limit. I ain't seen you put in work in a minute. I gotta put on for the family, that goes for every person that's in it. Used to scrape by working as a service attendant.
Number 4, related to number 3, is that you don't get that powerful feeling of reward with taking action. You don't get a positive dopamine-centered hit of reward and just like feeling good from taking action, which does in fact come from testosterone, right? So maybe this is a part 3 and part 4. Having high testosterone levels will change the way that your brain reacts to, the feeling you get when you achieve something. But regardless, whether it's testosterone or whether you're modulating dopamine via nootropics, right? Or you're just like modulating energy and keeping your energy pretty peak. What's important is that you feel reward from getting stuff done. You feel proud of yourself and happy and pumped and fucking excited to get something done and to see an outcome. When you're in the right place, and especially when your testosterone is high as a guy, like your inclination to be happier because you've achieved something is way high. This is a Steelers stadium, by the way. Pretty radical, dude. Number 5 is you actually give a shit about what people think of you. You give a shit about what people think of you. And that influences like what you do throughout the day. It influences like how you even appear to other people, like because it gets in your head. That is the single biggest mistake to make as people. Who gives a shit? Look, I heard this, saying once from, a wealthy entrepreneur. And to be a wealthy entrepreneur, I mean, there's a lot of mindset that goes into this. So like looking at entrepreneurs and how they operate is very useful. He said, most of the people that you see on the streets or whatever, like even the people that you know, that you may have somewhat close relationships with, when you're dead, they will stop giving a fuck about you like 2 weeks later, right? 3 weeks max. After 3 weeks pass, they don't even think about you forever. So imagine the kind of like attention that you're giving to folks that will not think about you when you're dead 2 fucking weeks later. Like if I gave a shit what people think about me, there's people everywhere. I'm in the North Shore in Pittsburgh. There's people everywhere. I'd be like, oh fuck, like I can't film my video because like somebody's gonna walk by me and like whatever. Like I don't give a shit, dude. I'm a man out here executing my mission, and my focus in life, which is to give you guys male performance content, nootropics content, right? Content that allows you to be your best self. I'm dating now, and in the dating world, like you absolutely have to not care what people think of you. If you find something that makes sense, great, go for it. Or if you think it's gonna make sense, you never even know with dating. Like you just kind of have to pursue people. So right away, I'm like, let's meet. I don't want to sit here and text you back and forth and fucking that turns into nothing and then you flake or whatever. Let's meet at the Foundry and let's have a drink on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Yes or no? Once you start letting like what other people are doing in their brains govern how you maneuver around this world, you're shot, man. Your ability to be happy and yourself and fully creative and expressive is shot. Who cares what they think? People are doing things in their head regardless. It is not your problem. And the orthodoxy, if you will, the sit in your seat in school and like keep your hands by your side and don't talk to anyone and be, that rigid, stupid construct that puts people in little cages throughout their lives. Those people, when they end up in the corporate world and in the regular world, they're extremely judgmental. And that's why you give a shit about what people think. Who cares? Dude, it is so lame to be judgmental, trust me. And to be like, oh, that person, this and that, aspiring and secretively gossiping. You know how fucking lame that is? Lame. You are a force in this world. You only have a certain amount of time on this earth and in this universe. Like, make every second count. Do not do something because you're afraid of what people think. And that in turn will get you to express yourself more and be yourself more and be your quirky, weird personality and express that more. And as a result, you'll be less depressed and more happy. Number 6 reason why you're depressed is you don't seek enough novelty in your life. New things, constantly. Like, going back to the inertia factor, like you've got to find that force to get you past being stagnant in where your mind is and where you are and like even your routine, and just force yourself to like do new things, even if it's by yourself. And then you end up like meeting people. I found this park, it's called North Park in Pittsburgh, and it is radical. It's like 40 minutes from my place, right? But like driving there, first of all, there are a ton of other people walking around, exercising, jogging, there's tennis courts. And at the end of it, there's like this boat dock like bar where you can get on paddle boats and paddle boat in this like little lake. And there's like cool people there. There's always cool people at the bar. I don't really go and hang out and drink, but I'll have a drink and some food. It's like, it's a new thing to do. Dating apps are actually just great for meeting friends. I don't even care. I have zero expectations going into it. And so it makes me a lot more normal and a lot more confident in my approach. I'm like, hey, you want to meet at whatever at 3 on fucking whenever? You know, in a lot of these situations, like, you are meeting additional people, which is like a principle in and of itself. Like, be around cool people, seek new things, and engage in novel stuff, and like get on dating apps and try to meet people. It's easy. You're just yourself. You've got to focus on doing new things, doing different things. And that means creativity, right? It means a little bit of planning. It means jumping on your phone and being like, you know, what can I do? Like, what's around me? You know, where can I go that I haven't gone? How's this gonna work? And don't let yourself talk yourself out of it. Just fucking do it. Number 7 reason that you're depressed is you're not as skillful as you need to be. Now, stay with me, because I know this sort of seems like a little bit of a curveball, but you know, in life, your skill set so much determines your confidence. And your confidence so much determines your happiness and abolishing of depression. Whether it's the professional sector, or it is, you know, your life as an entrepreneur and a business person, or something in between. I mean, maybe you're a philanthropist, or maybe you're neither of those things and you just want to save the whales or whatever. Like, you've got to be constantly on the cutting edge of the skill sets that are required to make you effective in what you're doing. Skills, like, get more skills. That will make you a less depressed person. Like, generally focusing on learning more skills and putting yourself in a place where you're absorbing information and you're learning things and you're like, wow, I like understand this now, and I'm like getting good at this thing now. That alone will make you less depressed. Like, some people that have been fussing around with nootropics for like a year or 2 years or 3 years or 6 months, but that haven't gotten Nootropics Ground Zero, Nootropics Masterclass, or Nootropics God Course. Like, I can promise you, once you level up your skills on how to get results better, on how to formulate stacks that actually hit really hard, that are balanced and don't come with side effects, how to get consistent results with nootropics, once you up your skill set in the nootropics game, it'll make you a lot less depressed, because now you know more. You know, you don't have to necessarily rely on our videos and my content. You understand how I think about nootropics. Skills. One of the next steps in our company is to hire more salespeople, right? To maybe do some calls or answer calls, or generally focus a lot on sales, because there's a lot of value that I can bring to the world, and there's plenty of people that have no idea that I exist. And the skill set of building an external sales team is something I'm engaging in right now. And man, is it making me happy, because it's something new. It's a new skill to learn, and I'm learning a ton.
I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside, it's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die, just to talk about my life, they need an actor to portray me.
Number 8 reason why you're depressed is that you don't have outcomes happening in layers throughout your life. You don't have things that are constantly being manifested from your previous work. Like, if you're into achievement and that's what you're into in life, which will also keep you happy and stave off depression, then like you're taking a lot of action that, you know, the results of which are going to come down the line in layers. You know, if you've been hustling for a while at one thing or the other, the results from your hustle, whether it's in the professional sector, business sector, your body or otherwise, are going to happen in layers downstream. And when all of those layers of outcomes happen, like fruitful outcomes, like pure results from the action that you've taken, it makes you happy and it staves off depression. The problem is people aren't always focused on that, right? And they don't understand the necessity to, kind of going back to principle number 1 in reducing depression or staving it off, is like having a focus in life, always sort of keeping busy, but not just busy work that's like moving you forward somehow in life. You know, it's like whatever it is. I mean, maybe it's the house that you want to get and you're closer to that. Maybe your goal is to retire in Texas with a ranch and have some cattle, you're getting closer to that. Like, or it's the actual outcome of some of those big life goals that you've had for quite some time. I mean, if you don't have life goals, you're never going to have achievements happening in layers that make you happy and stave off depression. That is the entire point. You know, the more you're taking action, right? If you're following principle number 1, like having a mission in life, and principle number 7, like you're not as skillful as you need to be, so you need to build more skills, then you'll be executing on stuff that will lead you to layers of outcomes down the line, which will keep you happy and stave off depression. Number 9 reason you're depressed is you just got over a bad breakup. I'm trying not to like leave stuff out here. This is relevant to me. You got out of a bad relationship and something went wrong and whatever, and you're depressed about it and you're thinking like, why did this person do this to me, or I miss this person or whatever. Like if somebody, but I want to be clear with you, the way you get out of that is pretty simple. Like if somebody did you extremely wrong, that's God telling you, and you ended the relationship or they ended the relationship, that's God telling you, look, you're not supposed to be with this person, right? That's God kind of withdrawing you from a really bad situation. I had a breakup somewhat recently, 8-9 months ago or something. And in the first couple months, I was really like hell-bent on, how could this person do this, and this, and this, and still not be sorry. Turns out I was dealing with a pathological narcissist, which really always sucks, but time is the best thing that heals in those situations. Interacting with cool people is, one of the other really, really good things that helps in those kind of situations, but also realizing like, I truly believe everything happens for reasons, right? And they're related to your future and your trajectory and your energy. I had a breakup again 9 months ago, and like in the beginning, I was like not bummed out. I was excited to be separated from, my previous girlfriend, because I understand who she is and she's not a good person. But I was bummed at the same time in so many regards, and was grieving this potential of the relationship to be what it could have ultimately become had she behaved like a normal person and just gotten some of her stuff together consistently. But then like something shifted when I realized like I am a different quality person than that individual, and so of course it's not going to work. We're different types of people in a lot of ways, and the direction that I'm going in my life, always up, super positive. I'm an honest guy, right? I am a faithful, loyal person. Those traits did not align with this person, and the direction that I'm going in my life, constantly upward, just doesn't align with where she was. So rather than sit and fret about why things didn't work out in some previous relationship, you've got to start looking at, why did God decide to separate you, or why did the force of the universe like ultimately lead you to separate, and how good is that for your trajectory in the future, and how good is that for the rest of your life? Realize why it wasn't a good match to begin with, and focus on the trajectory that you're taking yourself and that God is taking you to. Last reason that you're depressed and what you can do about it is you're not happy with your body. You're not happy with your body. I mean, look, there are probably 20, 30 reasons I could list, but these 10 are the primary, right? If you're not happy with how you look and how you feel because of how healthy you are, you're not going to be happy. If you're looking in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm just really not impressed. I don't love the way that I look. I need to be bigger. I'm a guy and I should be more muscular, or I should, I'm overweight and like I'm not lean like I should be. And dude, that's going to bother you. That's going to depress you. It's going to put you in a place where you feel inadequate. And the more you ruminate and cycle those thoughts over and over and over again in your head, the more depressed you get. Like, so fucking do something about it. And if testosterone, which is a major, it could be either a building block of, getting the physique you want, or a major inhibitor if it's low, is preventing you from, getting the physique you want and getting your butt in shape, then you've got to work on your testosterone. But like your body, like each time you look at yourself in the mirror and see your body, when you're dressing or undressing and you see your body, like if you're not happy with it, that acts like small little paper cuts that just continue to cut you, and they stay in your head, and they contribute to the mood that you're in, and they put you in a negative place. That's one really, really sneaky thing that a lot of people don't recognize about why they're not happy. It's sort of in the background, kind of constantly destroying your happiness and contentness. You've got to do something about it. Work on your body. Go start working out. At the same time, that'll reduce your depression too, because you're moving your body. You're energized, you're growing muscles, you're burning fat. Like, it's critical. Finish off by saying, like, look, just analyze those 10 things, because depression is something that creeps up on you, and it's like if you don't know how to isolate certain things in your life and in your mind and then work on them individually and have a strategy to execute to get yourself out of bad states, then you can be perpetually in crappy states, and that is no way to live your life. Things take time, but you will see a powerful change in your mood once you even have a plan to start working on some of this stuff and you start executing it right away. That'll wake you up in the morning with a different sense of energy. Make executing those 10 things like, now I have this new thing to look forward to in my life. I'm working on my body. I'm going to learn new skills. I'm going to try new things and engage in novel situations. I'm going to work on my testosterone and make that an absolute focus. I'm going to find a mission in life and focus on that. Just the notion in your head that you're going to be focusing on these things will change your mood and get you up in the morning feeling differently about your life, because now you have a trajectory. Now you've got some things you've got to focus on. Now you've got some things you got to do. And you've got these strategies like the inertia factor, pushing yourself to just get up and do whatever when you're feeling really crappy. That little force that overcomes stagnation. You've got tools like that to move forward to get you out of those kind of micro places when you're depressed and you need to move. Look, I have been depressed before. I'm not immune to it. I've been depressed in many different scenarios in my life, in many different times. It's a spiritual, depression is in some sense, obviously it's neurochemical, but and hormonal for some people, but it's kind of also a spiritual beatdown. Your spirit is not content with where you are, where your body is, where you're going, how much you know, and all the stuff that we just talked about that's relative to having a focus in life and focusing on testosterone and not caring about what people think. All that stuff is a burden on your spirit, man. I've been there and I've gotten out of it, right? Because I've developed stuff like this. It's about talking to yourself and identifying some of the stuff that we talked about, as well as potentially other reasons that you're depressed, really breaking them down and then asking the question, how the fuck am I going to solve this? Coming up with a plan and starting tomorrow. Depression does not have to run your life, okay? You can be a high-performing, happy, cognitively functional, high testosterone guy. And if you are that and you work towards becoming that, I promise you it'll change your life. Hope you've gotten some usefulness out of this. Thank you so much for being with me. It's been a pleasure doing this video for you folks. More content to come soon, and I'll talk to you soon.